How goes it, everybody? So here's a little something different, a painting video. So in this painting I'm going to do a little black background with a white tree. So I have my plain canvas and I'm putting a little white on the corners, and then I just kind of start doing like a black circle, just kind of get my, like my center point. And you'll notice later that I actually do change this quite a bit. So I do globs of black all along, and then I slowly start to smooth them out, and just to make it look a bit more even. And then I even add some, whitish and black to the paintbrush, and I kind of like blend them in together on the corners. And then as I'm doing it, I realize this just looks like the ring. So you'll notice that eventually I do start adding more black. And so I'm just using like plain acrylic paint. I'm not using anything special. It's just a plain regular canvas, regular brushes you can find anywhere. So that's when I realized it looks like, the hole from the ring. So, I'm trying to play around with it. I'm trying to smudge it in a little bit more. It's nothing crazy. Sometimes, even if you have the black and the white, something as simple as taking, a clean paintbrush and just wetting it and letting it smudge will make a difference. So I'm starting to add more black, and of course it smears with the white, so it's just going to be a longer process than I wanted. So then I get one of my sponge brushes, and that just makes it smooth out so much easier. And as you can see, it just makes it look a lot smoother. There's not as much white. It's not as much of a circle. I did get to blend. I got to blend it a little bit, but as you can see, and I have it blending a little bit on the corners. It's not too crazy black, not too crazy white. It's kind of blending in a little bit together. It's nothing too difficult. As you saw, I just did the globs of white on the corners and the globs of black in the middle, and then I kind of just blended them in together. So now I'm going to take my white and I start thinking about how I want to trace out the tree. So I do a little tracing, and again, I'm putting globs of white down so that I have like pretty much it down for a little bit. And make it however skinny or thin you want, or large you want it. And it's okay if it's not a perfect straight line, because no trees are perfectly straight. And when it comes to the branches, there's no real method. It's kind of like you're just putting branches out in different directions. So I did like a bunch of thick branches, and I'm very lightly going over it, because then, as you saw, it smears with the black, and, and then it ruins it a little bit. So I lightly go over it, and then I take a little skinnier brush and I put like the little tiny branches in that are sticking out. Yeah, I tried to show it, so there's me trying to show you just like the little skinny branches. So again, there's no strategy, there's no method. It's kind of just do whatever you want, because no tree, does the same thing or anything. So if you notice, I'm constantly going over it, because I have a habit of, especially when I'm painting, I'm on my floor, so if I'm leaning over, I'll push, like my body will lean forward, and then it'll just, ruin the painting. So I'm constantly going back and forth, trying to like, very lightly brush my brush along it so that you do see the white. So then I let it dry for just a little while, just for a couple minutes, so then I can go over the white again, and it'll actually be like a piercing white, if you notice. Like, again, no strategy, just going over exactly what I had already done. It's nothing crazy. I just gave it, a chance to dry, so that when I painted over it again, it would just be a nice pure white, and it would make it pop just a little bit more. And again, because I'm leaning forward, I have to go over it very lightly. And of course, like, you'll notice like a glob of paint, so you try to smooth it out. It's little things like that that drive my OCD just a tad bit crazy. So, this was just like a simple idea. I thought it would be fun for you guys to see. Just, nothing crazy, just a very simple painting, very easy steps. As you saw, I just put white in the corners, I put a black circle in the middle. I took eventually I added more black, but I took a wet paintbrush, and that's how I smoothed the white and the black in, blending it in together. And then I outlined the tree however I wished, with a thin paintbrush, and then eventually used a thicker one to actually paint it all in. And then I used a very skinny paintbrush to do the little branches that I wanted. You know, no Picasso, but I think it made a really pretty painting. And again, let it dry so that you can actually put white on it to let it actually pop. And then you'll notice that after I'll take my paintbrush and I start like doing just like that. I'm doing like that because that's my way of adding stars in. So I added like little dots going. So, and sometimes the paintbrush does not want to cooperate. So, but as you can see, I got my little brushes there, and I do my best to smooth everything out so it looks like one big stroke instead of like a bunch of little ones. So you'll notice I'll go all the way to the bottom to all the way to the top. And yeah, there you go. Just a very basic little, my beautiful tree. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you around, guys.